is, of course, the day glow colors. But another thing I like about this deck is that it has extra cards. It has duplicates of things like the Four of Cups, I think, and the Two of Cups, maybe. And it's got an extra card called the Flaming Squirrel. So, Taurus, if you would, go ahead and just allow any thoughts and ideas to rise up to the forefront of your mind that you'd like to address in the reading. And I'm going to shuffle the cards. Allow your mind to just wander and freely associate with all of those thoughts bouncing around in there. And I will deal out the cards. All right, Taurus, let me write down your timestamp. And that is okay. Let's start here in the past. And the card that we have showing up in the past for you, Taurus, is the King of Wands in the reverse. Now, the King of Wands is somebody who is creative leadership role, somebody who has made their fortune through creative endeavors, perhaps. Someone with a fiery spark to them, but also level-headed and has the self-control to mitigate that fiery spark. Now, oh, hi, Maria. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming. I'm going to do your reading on the crystals crying video. I didn't forget. Yes, a lot of people actually recently have been getting the King of Wands in the reverse. But actually, in this particular reading, it's reversed in the past, which means that it could be a state that the person was in, and now they're not anymore. They're leaving this lifestyle behind. So, what we have in the place of the significator is the Hermit card, and it's crossed by the Four of Pentacles. The King of Wands can be a very socially minded energy. So there could have been a period of time in the past for you, Taurus, where you were getting out, you were doing a lot of things, you were being very creatively fruitful, and now you are withdrawing and have started to conserve your resources more, or are working on conserving your resources. It's kind of a flip-flop of positions. It's not very common for a moderate sign like Taurus. Could depend on what else you have in your chart. And there can be other reasons for things like this happening. The time span for that jump between the King of Wands reversed to the Hermit in the upright in the place of the significator, thus representing you in the reading, Taurus. That could be months, years. It could have been a gradual transition, or it could have been very sudden. Down here in the Imam Sili, so this is going to be the foundation upon which future events are built. And the card I have down there in the Imam Sili is the Four of Wands in the reverse. So this card has to do with building foundations, but here it's showing up reversed. It can also have to do with celebrations. It could be a card of marriage. You could be postponing some things at this time. With this King of Wands energy in the past, you might have been somebody who had the resources to take action on the things that you wanted to do. Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that for you, Maria. But that in the current situation, we're focused more on conserving resources and are kind of delaying any plans for building. From your perspective, looking at the current situation, Taurus, we have the Knight of Cups. You could feel like you don't trust your intuition right now. You could also be feeling like your emotions are in the driver's seat and that you're kind of at the mercy of your emotional states. From an outside person's perspective looking in, we have the Ace of Cups in the reverse. So people see that it's time for you to have a new beginning, either in love, relationships, or other emotional connections with people. The Ace of Cups can also have to do with your connection to the divine. So people are really hoping for you at this time, Taurus, that you'll have the opportunity for this new beginning. You can also look at the Ace of Cups here where we have these 4 streams. Well, it's not 4, it's 5. It's 5 streams. It looks very similar to some of the Wands cards. Don't forget that passion is an aspect of this too. Your emotions and your passions. Right now, people see a lot about the emotional states of this situation, Taurus. But don't forget that the origin of this situation lies in your passions, what you're passionate about, and what you're trying to manifest. Here in the future, there was another sign that got this card in the future. It might have been Libra, it might have been Leo, I don't quite recall. But it is the Fool card, and this is a great card to get in that future position, especially upright like this. The Fool is all about casting off baggage from the past and having a fresh start. So perhaps this Ace of Cups that people are hoping for you, Taurus, will be coming to fruition in the future in the guise of this Fool card. Here in your hopes and fears, I assure you we don't have banshees, we just have some little white dogs that howl sometimes. Right around this time of day, actually. That dog's name is Osito. If he doesn't stop soon, I will go out there and talk to him. Here in your hopes and fears, Taurus, we have the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords, as you can see, it's a very painful ending. And because you cannot trust your intuition at this time, Taurus, you're afraid that's exactly where you're headed. But I don't think that's the case. In fact, the final cards in your reading are very positive. So the road that you're on right now, while it is different from the road that you have been on in the past, I would say it's the right one for you. Here in the midheaven, Taurus, some of you might be cuspers with the sign of Aries. We have the Emperor card showing up in the midheaven in the upright, which is a wonderful position for this card. It indicates that you will have control and you will have the power to delegate. That's the word I was looking for. Delegate things to others. And this energy is not very dissimilar from this King of Wands energy from the past. And in fact, we even see it here in echoes of the Four of Pentacles. These are both fours. They're both figures sitting on the throne, both in control of their resources around them. Oh yes, that's one of the things I love about this deck, Maria. This guy in particular looks like Dr. Jacoby from Twin Peaks. I mean, he looks like other guys too, but that's who I always think of when I see that card. The final outcome for you, Taurus. We have the single lady, the Nine of Pentacles. And this is juxtaposed against this Ace of Cups in the reverse. I think there are people out there who want very good things for you, and that's why we have this Ace of Cups in the reverse. But they might not be the right person to give them to you. So what we're seeing as your final outcome and your advice for the reading, maintaining this energy. The Hermit and the Four of Pentacles together is not too dissimilar from aspects of the Nine of Pentacles. And that is where you are headed. So that is going to conclude the Taurus reading for this week. It seems like it was kind of short, but it wasn't a very detailed reading. There was a lot of what was there was just right on the surface. There's going to be a period of self-doubt, but then a renewal, and then you will have control over your surroundings and financial freedom. So now I'm going to move on to the sign of Virgo. Virgo. I also want to let you know that after I've done the Earth sign readings, I will be going over to the members side of the channel to do some crystal scrying. I also do readings for the channel members over there as part of the live stream. And you can tune in live to the live stream, or you can leave comments under the video, and I'll do your reading in the next installation. You are, of course, cordially invited to join us, but your presence here on the channel, whether that is views, likes, shares, subscriptions, ringing the little bell so you know when I go live, or commenting in the live chat or on the videos, all of those things are so greatly appreciated. Oh, good. Glad you think so, Maria. So we had a jumper for Virgo, and that is the Four of Cups reversed. I'm not going to put that after the timestamp. I'm going to put that before, and then if it comes back out, then it'll end up in the reading. But what the Four of Cups in the reverse could mean for you at this time, Virgo, is that it's time for you to act on something, or that the time of choices and procrastination is ending, and the next phase will be coming in, whether you make the choice. Sorry, didn't mean to bump the microphone stand. Whether you make the choice or not. So, oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Spent all this time in the beginning talking about how there were duplicates in here, and then I was surprised to see a duplicate. Oh gosh. The dogs are just stirred up, I guess. Well, we'll just have to deal with that. I apologize. Okay. All right, Virgo. So let's get into the reading. Oh, they might get stirred up with these sirens too. Here in the past, we have the Fool in the upright. So you've been wandering through life without a care in the world. Totally unencumbered by the things from your past that might have been considered baggage or trauma. And I think that this new and fresh beginning for you started at some point not too long ago, but is continuing into the current situation. So here, in the place of the significator, that's you in the reading, Virgo. We have, good heavens, I'm sorry, we have the Ace of Swords, and it's crossed by the Eight of Pentacles. You are making a big career change right now. The Eight of Pentacles can be a form of income that you have had for a long period of time. So it doesn't have to be a job, but it could be. It can be a day job. It can be a side hustle. It can be your own business. It can be investments. It can be passive streams of income. However it is that you have been making money up until this point, you are making drastic changes at this time, Virgo. Another thing about this Eight of Pentacles is that this would be a career path that you're so experienced in that you can run this business independently. So you can do this job without any boss. Here in the Imam Silai, we have the Justice card showing up in the upright. This is Libra energy in the major arcana. It has to do with situations being evened out, where things are unfair, where things are unjust. They are being made right. From your perspective on the situation, you see things very much through the framework of like people are trying to take advantage of each other. The worst sides of capitalism. That is kind of how I read this card in that position in this reading. that things don't necessarily always have to be that way. But that's probably part of why you are so eager to make changes. It's a lot of air sign energy here. So the Fool is air elemental energy. The Ace of Swords, elemental air energy. The Seven of Swords, elemental air energy. The Justice card, elemental air energy. And of course, we talk about the winds of change blowing. That is exactly what we're talking about. This is going to be counter to your fundamental earth energy. Oh, Maria, I'm so glad to hear that. That sounds awesome. Congratulations. From an outside person's perspective, looking in on the situation, we do have the World card in reverse. So this is Saturnian energy. It has to do with establishment, and it has to do with things becoming concrete, completion. So people around you might perceive that there is something lacking closure at this time still, which is fine because justice is balancing those scales, right? So it's going to be a process. It's going to take a bit of time. And if you perceive that somebody is trying to get one over on you, they may be waiting for that con to play out. It's not going to happen the way they want it to, because justice will prevail. Here in the future, we have the Ten of Cups, and this card is upright. So this is a wonderful closure to an emotional cycle for you, Virgo. And based on what's in the midheaven, this does look to be the ending of a cycle, because we'll be starting a new cycle and new things will be coming in. But it's going to be a period of emotional satisfaction for you. Emotional satisfaction away from barking dogs. But speaking of dogs, in the hopes and fears, we do have the Moon card, where we have those two dogs howling at the moon. One of them feral, one of them tame. Does anybody know how long it takes a dog to go feral in the wild? I know hogs, it's only like 6 months, and they grow tusks and very coarse hair. So your hopes and fears is related to things being unclear. Because when things are unclear, that's when people take undue advantage. You might also be hoping for the beginning of an artistic period of expression too, for those of you who are involved in the arts and music and performance and things like that. Some of you might even be hoping for the cover of Night, in which you can do some work. So that could also be regarding the cycles of the moon and doing magical working. You could be waiting for a particular moon cycle to do something. Here in the midheaven. So we talked about in the future how we have this emotional closure that's going to be coming through. In the midheaven, we have the Two of Cups, and it's upright. So the Two of Cups is you coming together in emotional intimacy with another person. This doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a very close friendship. It could be somebody with whom you end up becoming roommates. It could be even a family member from whom you've become estranged coming back around again. But I don't see anything specifically about the past coming back around, so this could be a new person also. Could be a Libra, because we have justice down here in the MMC line. It doesn't have to be. Does not have to be. We do have all of this air energy floating around in this reading, and so because of that, I think that the most important takeaway point from that is not what the person's sign is going to be, but rather that so many changes are going on at the current time, Virgo. So many changes are going on for you currently, Virgo, that you might not even recognize the person who shows up for this. And the final outcome is the Eight of Swords, which is feelings of being trapped. And this is counter to the World card in reverse. So if you are refusing to put closure to something, it's going to end up ensnaring you rather than being something to fall back on in comfort. So it's much better that you go ahead and seek out this new beginning with that Ace of Swords. And I think, too, another takeaway point from the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is 2 times the Four of Swords, which is, of course, the nap time card. So you could always reduce your troubles by, when you find yourself in this position, make the choice to go take a nap. That's what I would do. So that is going to conclude the Virgo reading for this week. I'm going to go now to the Capricorn reading. Capricorn. And of course, after this, I will be going over to the member side of the channel and doing some crystal scrying and some member readings. So Capricorn, if you would like, just allow a lot of thoughts and ideas that have brought you here today. Oh, nice. Yes, snaps for Virgo. Allow those things to kind of circulate in your mind, Capricorn. See if any free association occurs, things that weren't necessarily, that didn't seem connected at the time. Maybe they seem a lot more interwoven now, or vice versa. That may be things that seemed very connected at the time. Like you go out and you see that your car is covered in spray paint and your neighbor happens to be leaving around the same time. Maybe those things are connected, but maybe they're not. Maybe it's just a coincidence. So, let's see what we've got here. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, somebody with Virgo placements and somebody with Capricorn placements have the potential to end up together tell you that. Here in the past, for you, Capricorn, we have the Judgment card showing up in the upright, meaning that you went through this trial period very recently and you're still kind of adjusting from the spiritual jet lag that results from the judgment. We did have in the Virgo reading, of course, this energy of the World card in reverse. Good heavens. I am so sorry. I hope that noise wasn't so loud where you are. It scared me. Trucks, cars, helicopter, dog. Oh yeah, definitely somebody's driving a big ass truck down the alleyway right now. Here in the place of the significator, Capricorn, we have the Queen of Cups. This card is in the upright. Or, no, it is not in the upright. It's in the reverse. Why would I even say it like that? This card is in the reverse and it's crossed by the Eight of Wands upright. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. So the Queen of Cups, this could be a water sign person who got away. This is water of water energy, so very close to elemental water energy. It could have been somebody who's wishy-washy. Could have been somebody who doesn't communicate clearly about their emotions. The Queen of Cups in reverse can also be somebody who has drinking problem. No judgment, of course. With that Eight of Wands, there's going to be a closure there. It's going to be all tied up nice with a little bow. And that ending could be with that person as a result of this transition. I like to think of the Judgment card as like Pokemon evolution. They let you hold a moonstone, Capricorn. So that Queen of Cups could be somebody who doesn't fit in your life anymore. But the Queen of Cups could also be you rejecting that energy in yourself, Capricorn. That you are no longer going to keep your emotions tucked away. Or that you might not know how you feel right now either, because of how many things are ending. So there's a few different possibilities there. Down here in the Imam Silai, we have the Trippin' Squirrel. So this is a card that is particular to the Blacklight Tarot. As you can see in the back, there's a squirrel on this blotter paper. Blotter paper was something that has been used as a way of dispensing doses of a drug called LSD. But I'm not really going to talk about that too much here because it's not the nature of my channel. If I do a video about LSD in the future, I'll be handling that topic in a much different way, related specifically to magical practice. But the squirrel, I don't know if squirrels even really need to do hallucinogens to get to that state. Squirrel's just real wound up, real out of it, eating this nut. You could not know what to make heads or tails of at this time, Capricorn. Seems like your emotions are confused. Seems like the situation or your head might be a little confused. Um, Going feral, almost. Don't you get tired of being good? Don't you just want to go ape shit? Capricorn, I know that you do. And maybe that's what's going on in the current situation. That's going to be the foundation for what happens in the future for you. From your perspective, we have the Six of Cups reversed. Everything from the past, you're cutting ties and you're leaving it behind. No more reminiscing, no more nostalgia. Because assuming that is what has gotten you here, that's what got you here, and now that you've transformed, you have to leave all of these things behind you. From an outside person's perspective looking in, we've got the other passive six, and this one is upright. This is the Six of Pentacles. And this has to do with, as you can see on the card, this person is giving to charity. They also have these scales here, which is similar to the Justice card, right? So there are elements of social justice to the Six of Pentacles. And this is kind of like the socialism card, that we're helping everyone make it together. And sometimes you are in the position to be the one giving charitably. So that is what people see of you at this time, is that you're doing very well, and you're doing well enough that you're able to care for others around you. So even oftentimes the Queen of Cups doesn't make her emotional states known. You could be very secretive at this time, Capricorn, and a lot of people could not know everything that's going on with you. Surprise, surprise. Here in the future, we have the Ace of Pentacles, and it's showing up in the reverse. So this Ace of Pentacles has to do with a new financial beginning, that the potential is there in the future, but it hasn't quite taken shape yet. This could be a book that you're working on, even about your transformation and your journey, right? That's potential as well. But there's going to be a whole new financial beginning coming in for you that you don't see coming yet. Because, as I mentioned, people see that financially you're doing quite well. So it's not like you need this new financial beginning to come through necessarily right away. Here in the hopes and fears, you've got the Sun card. You're hoping that everything will turn out exactly like you want it to all the time. How boring. It's in contrast to where in the current situation you are leaving behind everything from the past. You could have a lot of trauma in your past. You could have a lot of learned scarcity mentality. And that's why you're trying to shed these things at this time. It looks like it's kind of making you a little bit crazy. It's okay. Everybody's a little bit crazy right now. That's why we need a better healthcare system, so we can get therapy. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the reading, some of you Virgos and Capricorns could be ending up together. We do have the Two of Cups ending up in the midheaven for you as well, Capricorn. As I mentioned, this can be a love relationship, but doesn't have to be. This could also be a very close, emotionally intimate bond that you share with another person, and possibly a person that you have not met yet. Uh, this Queen of Cups could even be like an idealized image that you have of a partner, and nobody's really been able to live up to that. And so uh, you're having to change your idea of what makes a perfect partner. You're having to realize that maybe the things that you thought you wanted in a partner, maybe you thought that you wanted a partner who was going to take care of you. And then when you realize that every person that you date who takes care of you reminds you of your mom, it grosses you out. And you have to realize at some point that maybe that's not what you actually want. I'm not saying that that is something that would or would not happen. I'm just giving a random example that probably doesn't even apply to any of you. But whatever the case, there will be a close emotional bond as the result of this period of temporarily losing your mind. Here in the final outcome, Capricorn, we have the Three of Cups. It's showing up reversed. And this is in opposition to the Six of Pentacles. So, how I see this is that you're clearly a very generous person. One of the ways that this could be read is that if you are entering into a one-on-one relationship, your days of being very generous with your genitals are over. You're going to be narrowing down this group. That's one of the ways you could look at it. Another way that you could look at it is that if you're taking care of all these people, you really need to narrow down the people that you're taking care of to the people who are genuinely invested in you also. Really evaluating this close group of friends, because not everybody deserves to bask in your sunshine, Capricorn. And so you are being urged to let go of the connections that are weighing you down like a stone to the bottom of the river. So that is going to conclude the Earth sign readings for this week. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I will be putting the timestamps, of course, down in the description box. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon.